welcome to the 2021 MIPIM Fair. I am now joined by the Mayor of Rome, Miss Virginia Raggi. Hello and welcome here.
Thank you, Ines. Thank you.
So let's go ahead with the interview. First, how is the economy in Rome doing after the COVID-19 crisis?
So thank you for the question, which is quite hard because, of course, the pandemic affected and hit very hard our city and our economy. I think that the sector that really has had deal with this pandemic in the hard way are trade and tourism, because trade and especially tourism was very a big driver in Rome. So now what we had to do was try to rethink about our city, rethink about our economic model, and so we started immediately to tackle the pandemic, if we can say, and we put down some strategy to restart. Let me give you an example. We are the first town and city in Italy to enlarge the space for the small table outside the restaurant, outside shops and cafe, so that this restaurant were not so affected. They could keep on going using the external space. And even I have to say, even clients, even people appreciated this initiative because they kept on going. I mean, of course, everything got quite harder and they lost a lot of their economy, but they maintained a small level of business, and this really kept them going on. For the tourism, we decided to give to hotel, shops, museum, market, a mark that we called Rome Safe Tourism. So we could give this mark, when we can give this mark to all this activity that respect fully all the COVID rules. So you have to wear a mask, you have to keep social distance, you still have to wash and clean your hands with gel, and all the measures that really keep away the pandemic from Rome. We started, even for tourism sector, we started to make a lot of promotion in Italy for domestic travelers, and we had, especially in 2020, a lot of Italian tourists that came to visit our capital city, and that was good for us because Italians were not so frequent flyers and frequent visitors in Rome. So we restart and rediscover our beauties, we can say like this, because of course during 2020 international flights were were banned. We could not go abroad. So we started step by step in giving the hope back again to these people. And we also had a wonderful project that I like to underline, which is called the microcredit help. We create a fund of 3 million euros for the small company, the small worker that couldn't find help in the bank or credit system because they were too small and they had no guarantee. So we create this fund for them so they can have loans, affordable loans, even if they have no guarantee, but they can stand with their own legs, and they even start new activity in the pandemic period. And especially they didn't have to give up. So that was a very big sign for us and a very big tribute to all those who want to keep on going. And this is why we are trying to create new solution for this new world that we are all facing. I think we cannot use always the tools and that we were used to use before. Sorry for this mix of words. We have to create new opportunity. We have to invent new solutions because the crisis really changed our world. So even in the developing of the city, in these years, we focused a lot in trying to make a synergy, find a synergy between the public transport system and the urban development. Because in the past years, we had like a developing of the city that were focuses especially on the outskirts, especially over and over the surroundings, so where no services were provided. And all the citizens who in the past years went to live in those buildings, they were cut off from the city. So we tried to invert this way of constructing, this way of thinking about the city, this way of developing, and we tried to put again the transport system, the facility, in the center of the developing.
Is that your next priority for the urban development of Rome?
Yes, of course, because you cannot develop city where there is like a desert land, or worse, where you have like your campaign, where you have your agricultural fields. You cannot build there. So we had to restart and rethink, and we tried to densify places where public transport system are located. And so now we have a lot of projects to develop with private investors, so they can come and help us to redefine and regenerate our cities, especially in places that we call the wide places, because we had a lot of places inside the city that were abandoned in the past years because the function they were born for, they were no longer useful, and so they were just abandoned, and we kept on consuming soil. So now we just have to make the opposite of what has been done up to now. We have to stop consuming the soil, stop consuming the ground, and start to regenerate what we have. And doing this, especially with the help of the citizens, in participating process, which is not easy, but I guess it's the only way that we can rebuild our cities, facing the people needs. Because public authorities, public institution has to talk and listen, especially what people need. And they know exactly what they want to have just close to their territories. So it's not an easy process, because you need to face people, you need to understand what they want, and then you need to talk with private companies and private investors and tell them what we as institution and people, Roman people, want to develop in that specific place. And so we have to find a solution that keeps everything satisfied in the public institution, people, and public and private investors.
And from a real estate point of view, what are your development priorities in Rome?
In this moment, in this very moment, we are developing a lot what we call the East Pole. The East Pole, it's an area of the city that it's around the Tiburtina station. Tiburtina station is one of the European most important fast train station, high-speed train station, and we're developing that. It's been several years that we started locating there the headquarters of the BNP Paribas headquarters, of course, is located there. We are now building the new Italy statistic building over there. There are a lot of public spaces there. They have to be redefined, especially because they were abandoned place. So now we are building roads and facilities, and we have to develop that place. I think we can start from there, and because we have to mix the function between residential, business, commercial, leisure time, student houses, silver houses, because now there's a whole part of the economy that pushes hard on silver economy. Because in Rome we had a lot of over 65 people, so we have to think about them, giving them affordable houses, affordable services. They don't have to be pushed away from the city life. They have to be part of the city life, but maybe helping by public, by private, and being integrated. So everything now is developing in that area.
Right, well, Virginia Raggi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for this interview and for the chance to explain a little bit what's going on in Rome.
Thank you so much for joining us.